The machine vibration told me something was wrong before I even checked the readings. 3000's off-spec in aerospace manufacturing. That's the difference between a part that flies and a part that kills people. Spencer, get in here. Garrett's voice cut through the shop floor noise. I adjusted my glasses and walked to his office, knowing exactly what this was about. Our biggest supplier in Germany was threatening to walk away, and somehow that was going to be my fault. My name is Spencer Collins. I'm 53 years old. I run manufacturing operations for Precision Dynamics Corp. And I've been doing this kind of work for 28 years, including 6 years as a Navy technician working on precision instruments. I have 2 sons, Noah, 20, who's studying mechanical engineering, and Cole, 17, who still thinks his old man can fix anything. Their mother died from a medical error 4 years back. Since then, it's been just us 3 figuring things out together. That medical error changed everything for me. A simple dosage mistake at the hospital and Jennifer was gone. Ever since then, I can't tolerate imprecision. When I see sloppy work, when I hear someone cutting corners on quality control, my hands start shaking. It's like watching that same mistake happen all over again. Garrett Morrison was my boss, division director for 2 years, though I still couldn't figure out how he got promoted. The man couldn't tell the difference between 6061 aluminum and 7075 if his career depended on it, which, as it turned out, it did. Garrett was 38, fresh MBA from a top-tier business school, and he treated manufacturing like it was just numbers on a spreadsheet. He'd never worked with his hands, never understood that behind every tolerance specification was someone's life depending on that part, working exactly as designed. The thing about Garrett was that he felt threatened by anyone who knew more than he did, and in a manufacturing environment, that was pretty much everyone on the floor. He'd gotten his promotion by talking about operational efficiency and cost optimization, but he needed people like me to actually make it happen. The problem was, he resented needing us. "We have a problem," Garrett said, leaning back in his expensive chair, always checking that watch of his, always talking about synergy like it meant something. "Mueller Precision Engineering, our primary supplier in Bavaria. They're threatening to cancel our contract. I'd been expecting this. Otto Muller ran a family operation outside Munich, 3 generations making precision components that could hold tolerances tighter than anything we produced in-house. I'd worked with Otto for 6 years. Built a relationship based on understanding their manufacturing processes, respecting their quality standards. More importantly, Otto reminded me of the old Navy chiefs who'd trained me, men who believed that doing something right was more important than doing it fast. "What's the issue?" I asked. Though I already knew. How should I know you're the one who deals with these people? Like I was just some translator, instead of someone who'd spent years learning their technical requirements, understanding their capabilities, building trust through competence. Garrett had been getting more aggressive with our suppliers lately, demanding price cuts and faster turnaround times without understanding what that meant for quality. In his world, manufacturing was a commodity. You found the cheapest provider and squeezed them until they gave you what you wanted. He didn't understand that precision manufacturing was a partnership. You couldn't bully your way to tighter tolerances. "I'll reach out to them," I said. "Make it fast." "We need that contract signed. Our Q2 numbers depend on it." I called Otto that afternoon. His English was careful but clear, with that German precision that carried over into everything he did. The way he spoke reminded me of my old sonar technician instructors in the Navy. Every word measured, every concept explained completely. "Your company treats us like a commodity, Spencer," he told me. "Last quarter, they demanded price reductions. This quarter, they want faster delivery schedules. They never ask if this is technically possible. They just demand." "I understand." I said, "Let me see what I can work out." I spent the next week putting together a real solution. Better payment terms that matched their production cycles. Realistic delivery schedules based on actual manufacturing time, not wishful thinking. Long-term contracts so Otto could plan his equipment investments properly. Engineering partnerships that made sense for both sides. In the Navy, we'd call this preventive maintenance, fixing the relationship before it broke completely. But Garrett didn't think in those terms. Garrett barely glanced at my proposal. "Just go there," he said. "Go to Germany and fix this. Make them happy. That's what we pay you for." When I asked, "Next week, you'll be there 3 weeks, however long it takes," my chest tightened. Cole had his championship tournament coming up, regional finals. He'd been working toward this all season, and I'd promised I'd be there. Noah needed help with his scholarship applications. Since Jennifer died, I'd been the only parent they had. Missing important moments felt like betraying her memory. That's a long time, I said. The boys, your dad can watch them, right? Figure it out, Spencer. This is your job. Garrett was right about one thing. This was my job. And jobs were hard to come by, especially good ones, with benefits that could handle college tuition for 2 kids. After Jennifer's medical bills, we'd burned through most of our savings. I couldn't afford to lose this position, even if it meant working for someone who didn't respect what I did. The night before I left, Cole sat on my workbench in the garage while I organized my travel tools. He was trying not to show disappointment, but I could see it anyway. At 17, he was old enough to understand that sometimes life wasn't fair, but young enough that it still hurt. "You're going to miss the finals, aren't you?" he said. I looked at his face. 17 years old, trying to be understanding about something that wasn't fair to him. "I have to go to work, son, just for a little while." "I know," he said quietly. "It's okay, Dad, but it wasn't okay. Not for him, not for me." I'd already missed too much since Jennifer died: parent-teacher conferences, baseball games, the little moments that mattered. Work had become my excuse for everything, but really, I was afraid of losing this job and not being able to provide for them. Afraid of change. Afraid of taking risks when I was all they had left. I flew to Munich on a Tuesday. The city was efficient, organized, everything running exactly on schedule. I took a taxi to the business hotel Garrett's assistant had booked. Clean, basic, nothing fancy. Company was always watching travel expenses, especially when it came to people like me who actually did the work. I met Otto Muller the next day at his facility. Not in the city, I had to rent a car and drive 45 minutes through Bavarian countryside to reach it. The building looked modest from the outside, but inside told a different story. CNC machines humming with precision that made our equipment back home look primitive. Workers in spotless coveralls measuring parts with instruments that cost more than my annual salary. The smell of cutting oil and fresh metal shavings. Familiar. Comforting. Otto was 65, gray-haired, with the kind of firm handshake you only get from 40 years of working with your hands and your mind. His wife, Ingrid, handled the business operations. She brought me coffee and apple strudel while we talked. "Tell me what you need, Spencer," Otto said, getting straight to business like Germans do. "I need you to keep working with us." I said honestly, "But I also need to understand what's not working for you." We spent that whole first day talking real technical details, tolerance requirements, material specifications, quality control procedures. Otto would pull up engineering drawings, show me their manufacturing setup, explain their process capabilities. I'd walk him through our assembly requirements, tolerance stack-ups, why certain specifications mattered for aerospace applications. This was the kind of conversation Garrett never had with suppliers. He talked at them, not with them, demanded without understanding, made promises without checking if they were technically possible. For Garrett, manufacturing was about leverage and negotiation. For me and Otto, it was about physics and precision. "Your boss," Otto said carefully during our lunch break. "When he calls us, he speaks like we are just another vendor. Like our 50 years of experience means nothing." "I know," I said. "He talks to me the same way." Ingrid looked at me with something like understanding. "Then why do you stay?" "Because I have 2 boys to support," I said. "And because I'm good at what I do, even if he doesn't see it." Otto nodded. In his world, competence mattered more than politics. Quality spoke louder than corporate titles. He reminded me of Chief Petty Officer Martinez, who'd taught me sonar calibration in the Navy. "The ocean doesn't care about your rank," Martinez used to say. "It only cares if you can read the instruments correctly." Over the next 2 weeks, we built something solid. Not just a contract renewal, a real technical partnership. I explained what Precision Dynamics actually needed, not what Garrett thought we needed. Otto explained what his facility could realistically produce within their quality standards. We found solutions that worked for everyone. The work felt familiar, like the careful calibration procedures I'd learned in the Navy. Every specification had to be exact. Every tolerance had to be verified. There was no room for approximation when people's lives depended on the equipment working perfectly. Then Otto insisted on something unusual. "I want you to be our primary contact," he said. "Not your boss, not anyone else. You understand our processes. You respect our capabilities. Every technical decision goes through you." "I'm not the decision maker," I said. "I'm just operations management." "Then we make you the decision maker for this partnership," Otto said firmly. "Every specification change, every delivery schedule, every quality requirement, it all gets approved by you. Otherwise, we don't work with precision dynamics anymore. I didn't understand why then. Later, I realized Otto saw what I couldn't see yet. He saw that Garrett was taking my technical work and claiming it as his own. And Otto wanted to protect what we were building together. In the German business culture, relationships mattered more than organizational charts. Back home, Garrett would message me at all hours. Where are we with the contract? When is it signed? What's taking so long? Like building trust was something you could rush through a spreadsheet. I'd explain that German business culture values thoroughness over speed. That pushing too hard would destroy everything we were working toward. His responses always came back the same way. I don't need excuses. I need results. The worst part was watching Cole's tournament from 6,000 miles away. Noah sent me video clips on his phone. Cole at bat looking toward the stands where I should have been sitting. He hit 2 home runs that day after the game. He called me. "We won, Dad," he said, trying to sound excited. "Coach said I played like you taught me." "I'm proud of you, son," I said, sitting in that German hotel room, feeling like the worst father in the world. "I'm sorry I wasn't there." "It's okay," he said. "You're working, I get it, but I could hear in his voice that it wasn't okay, and honestly, it wasn't okay with me either. I'd promised Jennifer before she died that I'd always be there for the boys. Now I was 6,000 miles away, missing the moments that mattered because my boss couldn't be bothered to understand the work I was doing. Garrett made everything worse when he insisted on joining one of my video calls with Otto. I'd been trying to explain some technical specifications when Garrett's face appeared on screen. "Otto, buddy," Garrett said like they were old drinking friends. "How's everything in Germany? Beautiful country, love the beer, right?" I watched Otto's expression go flat. This was a man who'd spent 40 years perfecting precision manufacturing, and Garrett was talking to him like some tourist stereotype. "Mr. Morrison," Otto said carefully. "Thank you for joining us." Garrett interrupted constantly during that call. Made jokes that didn't translate. Talked about Otto's operation like it was some small-town machine shop instead of a facility that supplied components to BMW and Airbus. When Otto tried to explain their quality control process, Garrett cut him off. Yeah, quality, we get it. But can you deliver on time? That's what matters to us." I watched Otto's face change. This was a man who measured success in thousandths of inches, and Garrett was treating precision like it was optional. In the Navy, we had a saying, "There's no such thing as close enough when lives are on the line." Garrett had never learned that lesson. After Garrett left the call, Otto said to me quietly, "That man understands nothing about manufacturing." "I'm sorry," I said. "Don't apologize for him," Otto said. "You are not him." But I was starting to realize that in Garrett's mind, I was just an extension of him. A tool he used to get what he wanted, then put back in the box until he needed me again. The respect I'd earned with suppliers like Otto, the technical relationships I'd built, Garrett saw all of that as his accomplishment, not mine. 3 weeks in Germany taught me something about myself. When I talked to Otto about technical specifications, when I walked through his facility and understood how things really worked, when I solved problems that mattered, that's when I felt most like myself. Not sitting in meetings listening to Garrett talk about synergy, not pretending that corporate politics were more important than getting things right. Otto started treating me less like a vendor contact and more like a partner. He'd show me new equipment they were considering, ask my opinion on process improvements, include me in conversations about their long-term planning. His son Franz, who would take over the business someday, started joining our discussions. "You understand what we do here," Franz said one afternoon. "Most American companies, they just want cheaper and faster. You ask about better." "Better is the only thing that matters in aerospace," I said. "People's lives depend on these components working exactly as designed." Franz nodded. "This is why we want to work with you, not with your boss, with you. The contract we built was solid, $8 million over 2 years. Enough precision components to fulfill our aerospace commitments and expand into new markets, terms that made sense for both sides. Quality standards that meant something. Delivery schedules based on actual manufacturing capability, not wishful thinking." The signing ceremony was scheduled for Thursday morning. Otto wanted to do it properly, with his whole family present, 3 generations of Muller Precision Engineering. This wasn't just a business transaction for them. It was about continuing a relationship they valued. I felt good about what we'd accomplished. For the first time in years, I'd built something that mattered, something bigger than just keeping my head down and hoping Garrett wouldn't notice me. That Wednesday evening, I was in the hotel lobby double-checking the contract documents when my phone buzzed. A text from Garrett. You're terminated. Company card canceled. Find your own way back. I stared at the screen. Read it again. Then again. No explanation, no phone call, no conversation. Just those words delivered like he was canceling a dinner reservation. I checked my company card on the hotel computer. He wasn't lying. It was canceled. I had $180 in my wallet and a return flight booked through the company travel system that probably didn't exist anymore. After 3 weeks of work, after missing Cole's championship, after eating cheap meals and staying in budget hotels to save the company money, after building something valuable that would benefit everyone, and Garrett had reduced it all to one text message. Later, I found out why. While I was in Germany building this partnership, Garrett had been telling his superiors that the Mueller contract was taking too long, costing too much in travel expenses. He'd been positioning himself as the victim of my inefficiency. When his boss started asking questions about why a simple contract renewal was taking 3 weeks, Garrett needed a scapegoat. That scapegoat was me. My fingers moved automatically. Understood. Thank you for the notification. I sat there in that lobby for maybe an hour. German business travelers walked past with their efficient luggage and their purposeful strides, living their normal lives while mine was falling apart. I kept thinking about the boys. How would I get home? Would I have to call Dad for money? The humiliation of that felt almost as bad as the text message itself. Then something clicked. Not anger exactly. Something colder, more focused. I looked at my briefcase. Inside was the unsigned contract. The one worth $8 million. The one that would save Precision Dynamics Aerospace Division for the next 2 years. The one Otto had specifically structured to require my approval on every technical decision. Without me, there was no deal. I stood up, walked out of that hotel, and got in my rental car. Drove back to Otto's facility one last time. The lights were still on when I arrived. Otto and Ingrid were in the office, making final preparations for tomorrow's ceremony. They looked surprised when I walked in. Spencer, Otto said, "Is everything all right? You look, they fired me," I said. The words came out flat. Matter of fact, my boss sent a text this evening. Said they're terminating me, canceled my company card, told me to find my own way home. Ingrid's hand went to her mouth. Otto's expression went hard as steel. After everything, he said quietly, "After 3 weeks, after you built this partnership, after you missed your son's championship game," Otto exchanged a look with Ingrid. One of those conversations married couples can have without speaking a word. "The signing tomorrow," Otto said. "What do you want to do?" That's when I understood something. Otto wasn't asking if the signing would happen. He was asking what I wanted to happen, because the contract named me as the required technical liaison. Every specification, every change order, every quality decision had to go through me. Without me, Precision Dynamics got nothing. "What do you mean?" I asked, though I was starting to understand. "This partnership," Otto said, gesturing to the contract on his desk, "it exists because of you. Your technical knowledge, your understanding of our processes. We built this with you, not with your company." "But I don't work there anymore." "Exactly," Otto said. "So why would we give them our best work?" The weight of what Otto was saying settled in slowly. The contract wasn't just paperwork, it was leverage, real leverage. "They'll send someone else," I said. "They'll try to renegotiate." "Let them try," Otto said. "I won't work with them. My family won't work with them. We built this relationship with you. Your technical knowledge, your understanding of precision manufacturing, not with that man who treats us like a commodity. But what about the other company? The one that's been calling you?" Otto smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. It was sharp, calculated. "Titan Aerospace. Yes, they've been contacting us for almost a year. Better terms, more respect for our capabilities. We always said no because we had an agreement in principle with Precision Dynamics." He shrugged. "Now, Precision Dynamics has broken that agreement by throwing away the person who made it possible. You'd really walk away from $8 million? "The money isn't walking away," Ingrid said quietly. "It's just walking to someone else, someone who understands the value of relationships." Something loosened in my chest, something that had been wound tight for so long I'd forgotten it was there. "There's something else," Otto said. "Titan Aerospace asked us last month if we knew anyone who could coordinate their European supply chain, someone who understands manufacturing, someone with technical expertise in supplier relationships." He paused, looking directly at me. "I have someone in mind now. I can't I said automatically. I need to get home to the boys. I need to find stable work. I can't take risks. This isn't a risk, Otto said firmly. This is you taking what you've earned. You built this relationship. You did the technical work. You understand our processes. Why should Precision Dynamics benefit from your knowledge after they've thrown you away? I have 2 boys to support, I said. I need steady income, benefits. College is expensive. Titan Aerospace is a serious company, Ingrid said. They're not asking you to take a risk. They're asking you to bring your expertise to people who will value it properly. I looked at the unsigned contract in my hands, 3 weeks of my life. 3 weeks away from Cole's championship and Noah's college applications, all those technical discussions, all those problem-solving sessions. All that trust I'd built with Otto and his family, and Garrett had reduced it all to you're terminated. What would I need to do? I asked quietly. Otto's expression softened. Tonight? Nothing. Stay here. We have a guest room upstairs. Tomorrow morning, I'll call Titan Aerospace. I'll tell them Precision Dynamics is no longer an option, and I'll introduce them to someone better, and then I'll call your old boss. Tell him there will be no signing ceremony. He'll be furious. Good, Otto said simply. I stayed in their guest room that night. It was small and clean, with a bed that felt like luxury compared to that business hotel. Ingrid brought me tea and more strudel. She sat with me while I tried to process everything. My father used to say something, she told me. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them the first time. Your boss showed you exactly who he is. Don't give him a second chance to prove it again. I thought about that all night. About all the times Garrett had shown me he didn't value my work, how he'd taken credit for relationships I'd built, how he dismissed my technical knowledge while depending on it completely. I'd ignored it all because I needed the job, because I was scared, because I thought I didn't have other options. The next morning, Otto made his phone calls. First, he called someone at Titan Aerospace. I could only hear his side of the conversation, but it sounded promising. Yes, this is Otto Muller from Muller Precision Engineering. We spoke last month about partnership opportunities. Is that still of interest? Excellent. I have someone you should meet. He's the reason Precision Dynamics wanted to work with us. Now he's available. Then Otto called Garrett. He put the phone on speaker so I could hear both sides. My hands were steady now. No more adjusting my glasses nervously. Garrett answered on the second ring. Otto, finally? I've been trying to reach you all morning. Are we set for the signing ceremony? No, Otto said calmly. We're not set. Silence on Garrett's end. What do you mean? Garrett's voice had changed, tighter. More controlled. There will be no signing ceremony, no contract. Muller Precision Engineering will not be working with Precision Dynamics. Is this about money? Because we can negotiate terms, we're flexible on pricing. This is about respect. Otto interrupted. Something you clearly don't understand. Now wait a minute. I don't know what Spencer told you, but he was terminated for cause. This has nothing to do with our business relationship. He told me you fired him via text message, Otto said, after he spent 3 weeks here building something valuable, after he missed his son's championship tournament to be here, after he worked harder than anyone I've seen in years. You threw him away like defective inventory. That's an internal personnel matter, Garrett said. His voice was getting higher, more defensive. It has nothing to do with our manufacturing agreement. It has everything to do with it, Otto said firmly. Spencer was our agreement. We negotiated with him. We trust his technical judgment. We built this partnership based on his understanding of our capabilities. We don't trust you, so there's no partnership. You can't do this. We have a verbal agreement. We have commitments. Our spring product line depends on your components. You had an agreement with Spencer Collins, Otto said. You terminated Spencer Collins. So you terminated our agreement. This is ridiculous. You're being emotional about a simple personnel decision. I'm being practical about a business relationship, Otto corrected. And now I'm going to work with Titan Aerospace instead. They've been asking us for partnership for over a year. We said no because we were loyal to Precision Dynamics. But Precision Dynamics wasn't loyal to the person who made this partnership possible. Wait, Otto, let's talk about this rationally. We can work something out. Maybe Spencer's termination was premature. We could bring him back, renegotiate his position. Too late, Otto said. You showed us how you treat valuable people. We choose not to do business with companies that operate that way. He hung up. Titan Aerospace wanted to meet me that same afternoon. Otto arranged everything. A car service to their Munich office, A proper introduction, the whole professional treatment. Victoria Hayes met me in the lobby. Maybe 52 years old, sharp business suit, but with genuinely warm eyes. She had the kind of firm handshake that said she'd earned her position through competence, not politics. "Otto speaks very highly of you," she said as we walked to her office. "Tell me about yourself." I told her everything, not the sanitized corporate version. The real story about the boys and what they meant to me. About working at Precision Dynamics and building supplier relationships because I actually understood manufacturing. About being stranded in Germany after missing my son's championship, and yet still being here today instead of on a plane home begging for a different job. "Why?" she asked. "Why are you here instead of rushing back to find another position?" "Because Otto made me realize something," I said. "I'm good at what I do, really good. And I'm tired of working for people who don't recognize that." Victoria leaned back in her chair. "Otto said you built an $8 million partnership from scratch. Technical specifications, quality requirements, delivery schedules. Is that accurate?" "Yes." "Could you do that again for us?" "Yes," I said. And for the first time in years, I completely meant it. "Then let's talk about what you'd need to make this work." Victoria Hayes asked me something no boss had ever asked before. "What do you need to make this work for you?" I told her about needing to be home for the boys, about Noah's engineering studies and Cole's baseball season, about wanting fair compensation and respect for technical expertise, about building something that would last. "Done," Victoria said. "All of it. We'll structure this as VP of Manufacturing Operations. Home base in the States. Travel to Europe every 6 weeks instead of extended stays. Salary that reflects your value, $145,000 base plus performance bonuses. Full benefits. College tuition assistance for your sons." I almost asked her to repeat that. Nobody had ever offered me that kind of package before. 6 months later, I was sitting in Cole's stands watching him pitch in the state semifinals. Noah was home from his first semester at engineering school, cheering next to me. My phone was turned off. Victoria had made it clear that family time was family time, and work could wait. "Dad," Cole called out between innings, "you see that curveball?" "I saw it, son." "Beautiful." Noah nudged me. "This is better than Germany, right?" I looked at my boys, both of them growing into the kind of men their mother would be proud of, and thought about how much had changed. A year ago, I was afraid to take any risks because I thought I had to choose between providing for them and being there for them. Now I understood something different. The best way to provide for your family isn't just about money. It's about showing them what integrity looks like. It's about demonstrating that your skills have value, that you don't have to accept being treated as disposable. Precision Dynamics folded their aerospace division 8 months after I left. Garrett ended up taking a job with a small parts manufacturer in Ohio, making about half what he used to earn. I didn't celebrate when I heard that news, but I felt something like justice. Sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't destruction. It's simply refusing to save someone from the consequences of their own poor judgment. Sometimes the best revenge is building something better with people who actually value what you bring to the table. Strike 3. The umpire called, and Cole pumped his fist as his team took the field. Noah and I stood up cheering. And for the first time in years, I was exactly where I was supposed to be. Your technical skills mean nothing if you let the wrong people control how they're valued. But when you find the right people, those same skills become your greatest asset. Sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't destroying someone. It's simply walking away and letting them destroy themselves.
They say just forget. Move on like it's easy. But forgetting you feels like remembering someone I've never seen. I've been trying to erase you from the places in my mind, but the harder that I fight it, the more you're hard to leave behind. Every memory keeps slipping through the cracks I try to close, like a face I should remember, but somehow never know. Forgetting you feels impossible, like chasing something I can't hold, like trying to remember someone that I've never even known. I keep reaching through the silence for a past I can't unknow. letting go of what we had feels like losing something true. Every moment turns to fragments, every thought just fades to blue. Like I'm searching for a feeling that still only leads to you. Forgetting you feels impossible, like chasing something I can't hold, like trying to remember someone that I've never even known. I keep reaching through the silence for a past I can't undo, 'cause letting go of what we had feels like losing something true. But now every empty moment still reminds me what is real. Forgetting you feels impossible, like chasing something I can't hold, like trying to remember someone that I've never even known. I keep reaching through the silence for a past I can't undo, 'cause letting go of what we had feels like losing something true. Don't pity me. My heart doesn't need your mercy. I can still stand on my own. I was broken by your leaving, fell deeper than I thought I would, but pain has taught me how to heal now and survive what once I couldn't. You don't have to look back sadly, don't reach out with guilty hands. What you shattered made me stronger, now I rise where I once collapsed. My heart doesn't need your pity, not another empty sign. I've got enough strength left within me to rebuild this life of mine. My feet are steady through this sorrow, I can stand through all the pain. You don't have to save me, darling, I'll learn to breathe again. I once begged for your affection, now I've learned my worth in scars. And the man you left in pieces found his own way through the dark. My heart doesn't need your pity, not another empty sign. I've got enough strength left within me to rebuild this life of mine. My feet are steady through the sorrow, I can stand through all the pain. You don't have to save me, darling, I'll learn to breathe again. Begun. My heart doesn't need your pity, not another empty sign. I've got enough strength left within me to rebuild this life of mine. My feet are steady through the sorrow, starting again. I'll rise alone